Hello friends, in this video we'll see limits of civil disobedience movement. All social groups were not moved by the abstract concept of Swaraj. One such group was the nation's untouchables, who from around the 1930s had begun to call themselves Dalit or oppressed. For a long time, Congress had ignored Dalits for fearing of offending the Sanatanis. Even another name for this is conservative high caste Hindus. According to Mahatma Gandhiji, Swaraj would not come for 100 years if untouchability was not eliminated. He therefore called the untouchables Harijan or the children of God. He organized satyagraha to secure the entry into temple, access to public wells, tanks, roads, and schools. He himself cleaned toilets to dignify the work of Bhangi and also persuaded upper caste people to change their heart and give up the sin of untouchability. But many Dalit leaders were keen on different political solution to the problems of community. Therefore, they began organizing themselves, demanding reserved seats in educational institutions and a separate electorate that would choose Dalit members for legislative council. Dalit people believed political empowerment would resolve the problem of their social disabilities, and therefore we could see the participation of Dalit community people in the civil disobedience movement was limited, particularly in Maharashtra and Nagpur region, where these organizations were quite strong. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who organized Dalits into the Depressed Classes Association in 1930, clashed with Mahatma Gandhi at the second round table conference by demanding separate electorates for Dalit. When the British government considered Ambedkar's demand, Gandhiji began a fast unto death. According to Gandhiji, separate electorates for Dalit would slow down the process of their integration into society. And therefore, Gandhiji wanted that such kind of separate electorate should not be given to Dalit community people. So Ambedkar ultimately accepted Gandhiji's position, and this is popularly in Indian history known as Pune Pact. It was signed in September 1932. It gave the depressed classes, later on known as scheduled castes, reserved seats in provincial and central legislative councils, but they were to be voted in the general electorate. The Dalit movement, however, continued to be oppressive of the Congress-led national movement. The second group, which was reluctant to support civil disobedience movement, that was Muslims. Some of the Muslim political organizations in India were also lukewarm in their response to the civil disobedience movement. They were unwilling to participate in civil disobedience movement. Reason for this movement was after the decline of non-cooperation movement, a large sections of Muslim felt alienated from Congress. From the mid-1920s, Congress came to be visibly associated with openly Hindu religious nationalist groups like the Hindu Mahasabha. As relation between Hindus and Muslims worsened, each community organized religious procession with militant fervor. Fervor, that is passion, causing Hindu-Muslim communal clashes and riots in various cities. Every riot deepened the distance between the two communities. Whenever riots used to take place between these two community people, the distance between these two communities used to increase. Congress and the Muslim League made efforts to renegotiate an alliance, and in 1927 it appeared that such a unity could be forged. It such kind of unity could be possible between Congress and the Muslim League. The important difference were over the question of representation in the future assemblies that were to be elected. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, one of the leader of Muslim League, was willing to give up the demand for separate electorate. If Muslims were assured reserved seats in the Central Assembly and representation in proportion to population in a Muslim dominated provinces like Bengal and Punjab, negotiation over the question of representation continued, but all hope of resolving this issue at the All Parties Conference in 1928 disappeared when M.R. Jaikar of the Hindu Mahasabha strongly opposed efforts at compromise. So when civil disobedience movement started, there was thus an atmosphere of suspicion and distrust between these communities. But Congress, alienated from the Congress, large sections of Muslims could not respond to the call for united struggle. Many Muslim leaders and intellectuals expressed their concern about the status of Muslim as a minority within India. Therefore, they feared that the culture and identity of minorities would be submerged under the domination of Hindu majority, and therefore unification of Congress and Muslim League could not be possible. Let us see this in the fourth video remaining part. Thank you.